Well, hello people, and welcome back to part 18 of Illium, our modded CS1 build. I hope you're having a wonderful day. Thoroughly in love with the World Trade Center we set out last episode. Lots of people moving around here now between trams and metro. And of course, that very dramatic monorail piercing in between the buildings. As downtown Illium continues to grow today, with yet more towers as we address possibly what is going to be one of the higher districts of the city, forming certainly a central business district with lots of office, commercial, and today we'll fulfill the build, which is the only reason why I'm playing this city, so we can feed the monorail through the Jangbisoft building on the corner of the intersection. And I can't wait. Welcome back to Illium, everyone. Happy Monday to you all. Welcome back, everyone, to the most impressive intersection ever made, as we enjoy wonderful sight lines, for which today we'll be developing another one over here, which is going to look very impressive indeed. So, as I mentioned, the only reason why I'm building Illium is for this exact moment, everyone, so settle in. We're going to reform exactly how we meet here today to make way for the wonderful asset it is from the Hearts of Korea pack, which is available, of course, down on Instant Gaming below if you don't have it. One of the best content creator packs. That's CS1 received. So we'll worry about connections for the buildings that are going to make this up in a second. Now I did say buildings there, because it's not quite finished yet, I don't think. So I've been toying about with the idea of this. I think we're going to go for it. So we're going to chuck a regular monorail station in here. I'm going to make sure we actually set this to the same height as the building for right now. And we're going to rotate it, and then feed it through. Now right now, there's quite a lot of clipping going on. But I'm going to raise this up. Quite a specific format. And then I just want to mess about with the height until that inner fence right here is covered. Which will give us a fusing of a monorail station in with the Jangbisoft building, so like you can actually stop in the building, right? Which is something you see in China. I think there's a very famous, I think it's a metro, isn't it, that stops in a Chinese kind of shopping centre and it drives into the building. I think most city planning enthusiasts are probably familiar with it. Wonderful. So let's get this hooked in. We'll do a curve in there. We'll worry about these colliding pillars in the detail and time lapse because there's going to be a few changes today, which will keep making them warp around a little bit. So be happy with that. This will continue over the hills and far away for a little bit at least. But again, as we cross over this side of the arterial, it's likely things over here might possibly change to accommodate whatever sits there. So to address a connection, I think we'll come in with a pedestrian road. And I'd love to find kind of a base access point on the bottom of the building. No doors here. Well, there is one there. I wonder how to just drag that over. I'm going to do some node controller work here, don't worry. And I can just drag that across. That'll actually connect the monorail station. But the building itself still does need to be connected, which I might just do this. That leaves everyone connected. Thankfully, a pedestrian area is very close by. Just get you over. There we go. Super. Let's get this flowing. So, there should be one here. Which I guess you can stay there. But also stopping on your way in there. And then this monorail line, which will also stop here as well. Yeah, you might be slightly confused. Just go with it. There you go. All flow out. And we can finally enjoy monumental moment in the series, everyone. We'll be watching monorail pass over the intersection. And then it's going to pass through the Jangbisoft. There's the one we deleted, isn't it? That's fine. Some people already using it. I'm interested to see where they emerge. Yeah, you're all coming out of here, aren't you? Well, that's perfect. That's exactly what I wanted to happen. We'll node control this to make it look good. So I just want to make sure it doesn't get too backed up. There is a couple. I think that once they re-stagger out, we should be okay. I'm likely to knock this monorail a further few blocks over as well. It's quite close here. There we go. They come in. There's the one I deleted. You're not going to go get the cart back? One of those people just been lost. No? That's fine. I might actually pedestrianize this road, you know. Let's go ahead and do that. There we go. Cool. So that works. In terms of what I want to do here, let's come on to our nodes. We won't drag that one. Let's pull it out this way a little bit. And then we'll do some node things here. So with our blue node, we're going to bring this down to a 50% stretch, which perfectly fits the doorway. And then also our blue friend on this side will also go down to 50%. With that junction a little square as well. And mostly fantastic. Once we get this all detailed with plazas and bring out things at the foot of the building, I think that'll look really cool. Just a huge fan of that aesthetic right there, everyone. We also have these little pedestrian pathways here, which I would like to keep in because it's all adding to the layerage around the build, isn't it? And again, last episode we mentioned that this one actually wants to connect into another one, doesn't it? So I reckon that's probably the time we set that up now, because we're probably going to want to need it, and then we can have this giant interconnected intercity downtown skywalk, which will be very dramatic. Possible infrastructure police triggering, maybe? We'll find out. Keep an eye on the comments, everyone. I'm going to upgrade this to campus pathway, so it's uniform all the way around. And then we'll just link this together. So we'll go for the 180-degree connection there. And we don't need this one anymore, but probably will still keep it in. So this one I want to come across. And how do we want to connect this in here? Just like that. This is fairly elaborate here. I have to make sure a lot of the towers around it. Make sure that people aren't walking past like people's bedrooms on this pathway. Maybe we have to set a rule that if you're on this pathway or any building around it has to be commercial or office, maybe. Cool. Yeah, so we'll do also here a big network multi-slope, I think. From here down to that one. And then from you down to the station. There we go. Should just even things out a little bit, shouldn't it? There we go. So that's another really fun layer. With some slightly overgrown oaks just in the way there. Let's pull those out. See, that's already insane, isn't it? Absolutely. Already insane. Perfect. We also want to node control this to a bend. And then in terms of what's going to happen here with it, I think what I'd like to do is these almost look like little kind of second floor levels, don't they? So if I fuse this into the building, we will then force to ground inside the building, which will look horrific inside, but it will actually make it connected to the infrastructure that's in there. I think anyway, it should do from that point. Yeah, there you go. So now it's like they can walk into the Jangbasoft building through these little set of doors here, and then catch the monorail, or indeed just come to the building. Right? So I'm going to be really happy with that. In terms of this pathway, let's continue to make it more usable by adding in our ramps that we deleted here. Have one there. One this side of the block would be quite nice actually. I think we can have some fun with this. So let's snap into the grid. And then we'll come down to the corner. And then just do a little bit more node control here. Push these red guys out, make this a bit of a pretty impressive kind of convergence of walking for other people here. Swatch a jack going on there as well. Let's correct our nodes. Super. That's just insane, isn't it? Absolutely mental. Busiest pathway ever, everyone? At least in my cities, possibly, yeah. It's wild. Just look at this. Hello, people. Metro is still quiet there. Where are you all going? You all walking back to the train station? Going around a few different places, aren't they? Kind of hard to track one individual movement in the sea of people, to be fair. Wild. This is it, everyone. This is the rest of the episode. Love it. Yeah, that's easily one of the busiest pathways we've had, isn't it? So there you go, everyone. Walkable elevated skywalk is always a good choice. Fantastic. Brilliant. We've actually already got a little gap in the arterial road here as well. We can just plug that on in there. There's another way up and down for them. But if that concept is going to work that well, because you can imagine how many car journeys that pathway is saving now. I wouldn't mind continuing to elaborate that idea with this pathway as well. If we're going to keep it flowing through the downtown as an elevated skywalk. Which is really a bit of an impromptu decision here. I wasn't planning on so much skywalk activity, but that's insanely busy. It's kind of hard to ignore. I wouldn't mind having this come alongside. Akin to something like that. And then just go forth and prosper. Keep this going in. Again, I'm likely to add some cute little ramps if I can, without them looking awkwardly steep. And that is quite steep. There's probably a better solution than that. I'm just going to do it down here for right now, but it's likely that'll change. I just want to see it connected so we can see how busy that one gets to. Okay, in terms of eventual vision, we could essentially do what we've done over here. Path coming under the monorail. We could do this again as this passes this way, under this one. Before it eventually drops back down to ground and connects into a little junction over here, most likely. That's some longer term vision as to where things are going to grow. They're cool, but we're still in very much central downtown business district here. Let's add in some more towers around this. So whilst we're still in the downtown here, I think we're going to be wanting quite tall towers in this instance. I'm thinking of, whilst we're on the subject of Korea, why don't we check out the Arco Castle Apartments, which will pretty much fit and sit. We can centralize that with move it. Let's move it over a little bit. So we're beginning to see the terrain differences in the downtown now. As we are on a very gradual hill climb, as you can see here. Which is now making itself known. So we need to fix this, because this will look a little bit awkward if we don't. We do have a node here, which we corrected for the mirror, which I think will also set this one to that height too. And then this one down to the same height as that one. So that will essentially push the terrain layer back a little bit, but this will be much easier to blend in with either like a rock wall or a retaining wall, or a building that isn't too big to deform it even further. I'm going to bring that down to the same height as well, alongside that one. But I'm happy with that there. That's our new... I guess maybe it's not the tallest tower. These two are probably a little bit taller, aren't they? But I think we will add our new tallest tower in the form of some Japanese assets. Modern Japan, really good content creator pack. I think I'm feeling this. So, where exactly do we want this? Kind of sitting and fitting here. It's not too far on the road either. Looks like we could possibly bring out another little plaza design here. Just because we have this passing over it, which I'm going to bring over now as well. Now we know where that building's going to be. Yeah, you just go straight under. Definitely something to be had here, I think, isn't there? You have to just hide that little dirt mound at least. And then we'll fill this in. Likely dropping an interactive asset here, I think, since I want this to be populated. Plazas and promenades is the obvious choice. I'll just go with one of these. Again, bear with today's build instance. Just while we get things happy, things are going to change a little bit here today while we get things set up. There'll be a lot of terrain layers to contend with. Annoying surfaces as well. Something that just sits with the tower. I'm not bothered about the roads being offset from that. Paint that in. I'm going to make sure each of these little Illium downtown blocks just receives something like this, you know, just a bit of personality. That layer, I'm not going to surface paint this area here. I think what I'd like to do is just introduce a little bit of a garden. Something like we've come across in downtown Illium before, these little pops of green that litter all over the central space, really. Always with the jacaranda for some reason as well. We are kind of losing a little bit of a window here on the building, but I won't tell if you won't. There's something here and then we can get our usual collection of props just to bring a little plaza space to life. A couple of benches out here. A couple of park life hot dog stands I think will definitely be at home in the city centre, won't they? Got no encroaching trees here. That path actually crosses the plaza almost perfectly at that angle, doesn't it? So something like that to sit at the tower. Not too many of these though, otherwise I think we'll end up with too much open real estate for what would be an incredibly expensive area to develop, you imagine? Which I think will take away from the realism a little bit. Let's jump into skyscrapers. And we'll partner this one with... Looks like we could get in there. We don't particularly need that through road. Have that one slightly more offset. And just see how that sits with the Django soft over here. I think nighttime is also quite an important factor to consider for this build today as well. Yeah, I'm happy with these here. Definitely want a little bit more density around the base of the towers and just have these peaks. I'll have that there. Around this, I also want to use another skyscrapers one here. The tall one, the Inodi headquarters. Which I don't want this one too close to that one. Oh, but it does. It does almost. Very nearly, everyone. Fits it. I think the issue here is we have too much flat face close to each other. See how this asset has more definition on it? There's angles, different indents. These are two very flat buildings, which I think is a little awkward. I do like this building. It's quite a powerful visual, isn't it, I think? I think I'm going to grab you. And I'll have you a little further away from that other tower. You almost look like you're centralised with the mirror, actually, do you? Oh, there you go. That's a happy accident, isn't it? I'll have that there. And that'll continue this ever-growing skyline out here as well, which is getting bigger now. I'll consider it from all angles, of course, that we've been talking about for the whole series. I think I'm definitely looking at more density here, but that's going to be further back down towards this end, isn't it? So we're not really there yet anyway. But I'm enjoying this. I really love those monorails coming in and out of the Jiangmi soft. That's incredible, isn't it? A lot of fun. Let's bring in some zoning. We also have a lot of commercial. If you're playing in vanilla, definitely go with your tight 4x4 grid zonings like this to get the maximum density from your zonables. You will have to be careful with the lines, of course. But I will plop a little selection here of my favourites. I'm definitely after more modern looking fusing potentials here, I think, with so much glass tower around. Usual trick. Splice these sides together. Also got some different colour variants in here, so we'll just do the old reset. But yeah, be happy with that there as a larger block. Gives us 4 commercial buildings there too. Some of the vanilla office towers are quite tall as well, so I'd like these around. Let's have that one there. I'd also love to consider possibly the downtown hospital for this district as well, although we did place one last episode, didn't we? At least some sort of emergency services. Can probably justify another hospital in the downtown this side. Any excuse to use the plazas and promenades one, of course. And we'll place a selection of high density, well, I guess it's all low office for CS, isn't it? But the taller of the office buildings at least. Some nice downtown selections in. I would like another main building to complement this plaza. And perhaps one of the older looking ones. Might even go with this one. We can actually reset this object to get a few different claddings. I think I want the red one. And then for some reason, I'm totally picturing this partnered with the park that came with Shops of Shibuya. This one here. Just to expand a bit of a plaza around it. And then I'm not against some zoning. I think certainly all this can just become generic high density commercial. You won't. We'll do something different with you. I've got all these networks here. And then I'll probably divide this block up here a little bit more as well. Let's bring another road straight the way through. Let's get some nice tall green cities residences here too. Good chance to use some of these kind of big chungus green cities numbers. So they are almost as tall as some of the skyscraper uniques almost. If there's a fuse in, yeah, these little corn units are perfect for a 4x4 config, aren't they? I actually wouldn't mind a few of these little tower developments in the downtown, you know. Let's do a fair amount of building spawn points here. But what I am after is this big residential column. Maybe turn to 2 or 3 of these. Possibly has those, you know, luxury downtown condos, I guess. I'll just kind of float these, give them a little bit of a spin off the road as well. And then we'll place another one this way. I'm just going to put that there for right now. And because I do want to accommodate a metro station here. Possibly, not always, but I want to bud peanuts. Who else? I think this is going to have to be next block over. I'm just fighting with too much tight space there, I think. I definitely want this in the downtown. Yeah, and this will also allow this metro to actually flow for the first time as well. From the central transit station. Which I don't know about you, but I find that tremendously exciting. Yep, come here. So this will one day be an airport service line, of course. Be able to get to the airport from here. We can enjoy a possible first-person perspective as our fountain burns down. Highlighting the need for fire safety. Bring a fire station in a second. As you come here, crossing over into Hamilton's. Fantastic. All the way through. And then coming down into the main central station. Where of course you'll see all the trains coming and going one day as well. Amazing. I could just watch Illium's transit run for days. So I don't think this will be too busy for quite a while, at least until it travels a significant distance into the outer line suburbia. But we'll get there one day. As everything was just burning down, let's have a look at some fire. Content creators are already small. I think it has to be high capacity fire station, doesn't it? I think we'll place this here in this block. We'll probably use these markers here. Actually, I'm going to move that, I think. We'll have that downtown fire station there, actually, right by the metro station. Unfortunately, the people did perish in the fire. Oops. And burnt my tree garden down as well. Tragic. Oh, we're back. Wonderful. I'm so in love with the layers that are developing around this bit of the city, right? Downtown Illium is going to be incredibly dense by the time it's finished. Well, speaking of, I think we will move ahead and get it finished. As another piece of downtown Illium. It continues to stitch together. That's a really nice corner alignment there. See, like, zoning absolutely can have its place. Like, this is all absolutely welcome for a little city centre district. Or perfect corner asset, yes please. Should we go for the hat trick on the back? Let's try. So I think zoning can absolutely work. But yeah, finish off this main street essentially just with more commercial. Detail up all these little plaza spaces around the foot of the towers. That's developed. So we can just have lots more detail. Especially around the foot of the Jangbasoft, which will get really stuck into a lot of detail in there. And hopefully carry on fueling this absolute insanity that is happening. Look at that. I've got to get that in the thumbnail, haven't I, surely? Possibly. Just absolutely wild. Love how it kind of like sweeps off and dips a little bit here and then kind of like kicks back out and around. Really fun design, that, right? Of course, a little bit of node control pathway. There's going to be a lot of residences here as well, so I imagine once that's in 3 or 4 episodes time, this will only get more insane. Wild. Absolutely wild. And technically, I guess one day this will be plugged into the airport, because there'll be all those tourists coming in as well, because they'll all come through here. What mental. I think, is it the most walkable downtown? Love my builds. Ilos had some good stuff, but nothing like this, I don't think. Grab some snacks, and we'll be right back with another block of downtown Illium. let's have a detailing review, shall we, of what is the most insane walking pathway ever. This will never be beaten. It's just absolutely wild. It doesn't stop. It just carries on. I'm very tempted to park life cheese this. Maybe we will at some point in the future. But beyond that, today's build has settled into our downtown skyline very well, giving us another super impressive intersection view, which is probably our thumbnail today in all honesty. But lots of detailing around the foot of the Jangbersoft. Flower gardens, benches, gazebos, food trucks, pathways back into where you would expect people to just walk across a plaza like this. And let's look at all the layers, the pathways, the monorail. Lots of fun happening through here. In terms of the rest of our zoning, we have office, residential. Finished off this commercial block over here too. But even with a little pathway, that just feeds through the alley. And then don't want to go too far off to the right here. This will definitely be more pieces of downtown over the coming weeks, but just develop this block out here. Lots of fun around the base of the Japanese skyscraper. Again, just expanded plaza vibes. Benches, people using this. Pathway up and down here now too. They were jumping to this pathway here. It looks like they've stopped that now. They were kind of, yeah, there you go. Oh no, he's good, he's good. They were like elevating up here, but that seems to have come to a stop. So I think it's fine. But just respecting the base of the towers. Pathways cutting through. Just giving us a really dense inner city environment, right? Which is really where so much of a modded downtown, a lot of the fun lies for me, you know. More open plaza around the back of our fused Green Cities towers, which has definitely expanded into more of a Green Cities residential district here. There's some light retaining wall work just to discuss that terrain we saw in the episode. And then different orientation of Green Cities. I ended up dragging a community pool, slightly fused it onto the tower so it looks like it is a pool for the tower. And then just some single standalone buildings here at the foot of the metro, which isn't too busy. Like we said, we knew it wouldn't be until this probably goes over the hills and far away. It's the metro turning in. We'll see if there's anyone waiting here. Yeah, so it's not the busiest line just yet, but bearing in mind this line eventually will be airport line one day, which will make it significantly busier, I think. I absolutely love how it weaves through the streets, especially this pillar in the road. Let me delete that. There's always one. I always miss one every time. A little pond in here as well, as this block tapers off. Planning some further metro. I'm thinking we're going to recess this metro into the ground and possibly allow this monorail to kind of sweep back over it, giving us even more layers as we approach some pretty gnarly terrain over this side. So that'll be tested. More downtown blocks. They're in the Harado Hall from the Shops of Shibuya content creator pack, which works really nice with these Harado plazas as well. Just as a bit of centralization in the downtown here. I really like this square to complement the huge tower, with some detail along the sides of it here as well. It fits very nicely next to the Mirai. Big fan of this combination here. And then just some blocks of residential and commercial to continue what's happening over here from the transport hub we did a few episodes ago. Just allowing this to continue to flow and breaking the occasional block open with just some park space. Which you can begin to get a bit of an impression of how that's working now, these little kind of pops of green that we're leaving in the downtown. Another one over here now as well after today's episode. As you begin to take a bit of a sample screenshot, if you like, of downtown Illium with so many layers and little details all littered through in here. And really, it's only just getting started, isn't it? Because we've still got tons of space to fill in the beast of a project that is indeed downtown Illium. Thank you so much for watching if you have made it to this point in the video. Really one of my most enjoyable City Skylines projects to date, especially this bit of the downtown. It's so much fun to put together. Mods give us so much more freedom. This episode for the vanilla people might be a little difficult to follow along, but keep on with the vanilla tricks. Keep your grids whole so you get those dense zoning patterns. It will allow you to create that theme of density, which the mods are allowing us to do to a much greater degree here, I think. An enormous shout out to the YouTube members and patrons that support the channel, with a roll call to our Golden Egg patrons: Casino, Spartan Angel, Michael W, Phoenix MD, Blythe, Jamin, and Great C. If indeed you want to get involved in that, links below to Patreon and Instant Gaming are the best ways to help support the work we do here. Otherwise, please enjoy the cinematics and I'll shut up and leave it there. And thank you all so much for watching. And as always, enjoy the rest of your day.